Thank you, Mr. President. It is a very great honor for me to introduce myself to you. I'm a marine ecologist, environmental scientist. For most of my career, I've been an academic, initially at Harvard and now at Oregon State University. But in 2008, President Obama invited me to be an inaugural member of his science team and to lead the federal agency NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which I did for 4 years. I then became the first U.S. science envoy for the ocean, traveling internationally to do science diplomacy around ocean issues with the State Department. I went back to my students and my research, which I love deeply, but then in 2021, President Biden asked me to come back to the White House and serve as the Deputy Director for Climate and Environment in the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. I'm here today in my personal capacity. I'm not here speaking for or representing the White House, so I just want to make that clear. And I would like to just channel our earlier discussions about the importance of science communication and introduce some of my work and that of my colleagues by way of telling you a story. This is a story about the ocean and about scientific knowledge. The story acknowledges that the ocean represents about 2/3 of the surface area of the planet, about 98% of the living space on the planet. It clearly feeds us, it sustains us, it provides for us. It's been important since the earliest, the dawn of humans on the planet. It harbors untold secrets. We have just begun to uncover all the secrets of the ocean. It's just an amazing treasure trove of knowledge and discoveries yet to be made. You will note that I use ocean in the singular because despite the fact that there are many ocean basins, the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian, etc., there is in fact only one ocean. It's all one. It's all interconnected. For the vast majority of people, of the history of people on this planet, we have thought of the ocean as so immense, so bountiful, so resilient, that we couldn't imagine that we could have an impact on it. It was just too big. We couldn't deplete it. We could take and take and take from it. We could use it as a repository of our wastes. I remember in the 60s, the mantra when we were struggling with pollution, the mantra was dilution is the solution to pollution. And you can't imagine a larger thing to have dissolve everything in than the ocean. So we thought of it as so immensely bountiful and infinitely resilient. It was simply too big to fail. We just couldn't conceive otherwise. The last few decades have shown us the folly of that thinking. You've all seen images of depleted fisheries, of disgusting pollution, of bleached coral reefs, just one problem after another after another. So much so that people are now throwing up their hands and saying, oh my gosh, it's just too much of a mess. It's impossible. It's intractable. The vested interests are too powerful. The solutions are just not feasible. The problems are too complicated, too interconnected. And in short, people are saying it's too big to fix. Ironically, this concept of too big to fail, now that narrative coexists with this too big to fix narrative because some people still look at the ocean and see an endless opportunity without responsibility. So we have these two competing narratives. Scientists are telling us that, in fact, we know a huge amount about the ocean, but not everything. And part of what we are learning is that the solution to so many of our global problems, in fact, lies in the ocean. The ocean has the key to solving many of our big problems: climate change, food security, equity, economic development, opportunities that we have only just begun to tap. And so we've gone from this narrative of the ocean as too big to fail, too big to fix. We are now seeing that the ocean is, in fact, not only our past, but our future. It is, in fact, the key to many of our problems. We have solutions in hand. They aren't at the scale that we need, but we have them. We know, for example, from science, that we could get as much as 20% of the carbon emission reductions that we need to reach the 1.5 degree target from the ocean. That's ocean renewables, it's tapping blue carbon ecosystems, it's decarbonizing shipping, and a few other things that have been identified and quantified. So the ocean is, we're flipping the script on the ocean from being a victim to a solution. That's true not only for climate change, it's true for food security and a number of other things that I don't have the time to go into. So in short, what we are seeing through new scientific analyses, discoveries, engagement, and demonstration is that, in fact, the ocean is not too big to fail. It is not too big to fix. It is, in fact, so central to our future, it's too big to ignore. That's an opportunity. That's an opportunity for scientists and for society. Thank you very much.
Hey, Jane. Welcome to the Academy. You're already fully into it. You were here in June, in July, June Ocean Conference. You haven't read the statement? You have to. The resilience workshop wouldn't have worked without you. And now, and all this despite your tremendous responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Really.